away from Kane on the restart. Jimmie Johnson, the dominator on the day. One more lap to go.
Get up there.
Coming to the checkered flag.
Come on, boys. Woo! Good job, buddy. Good job. That's 199.
Yeah, and the next win for Rick Hendrick will be win number 200 of the Sprint Cup Series. Jimmie Johnson's numbers this season aren't quite what he's used to. His 2 wins and 13 top 5s have got him here, but perhaps the biggest number is one DNF. That was here at Charlotte. He doesn't want that to happen again, but right now he is 3rd in Sprint Cup Series standings. Petty didn't do it, Earnhardt didn't do it, Yarborough didn't do it. Jimmie Johnson's 5 consecutive championships stand alone in NASCAR history. But while you might not like it or fully appreciate it, a 6th could be on the horizon. And no one can get to the bottom of a story like Kenny Wallace, and we had a chance to talk to five-time at NASCAR's Hall of Fame.
Okay, Jimmie, before we get started, one of my favorite things about you is you grew up in a trailer court or trailer park. If so, what's the difference?
You got to help me understand the difference. I grew up in a double wide, but I don't know what the difference really is between the two.
Well, I think a park means you have trees in the area, and a court just means you're in and out.
Yeah, it was more of an in and out thing. I mean, there was a rec center, like where there was a swimming pool and some foosball tables and stuff like that, which I thought was cool growing up because all my buddies, we'd ride our bikes down to the little rec center and hang out. So I didn't know any better. I had a great life and had a lot of fun growing up and had motorcycles and all this stuff, and just had a house with wheels was all.
You grew up really humble, and you're really nice.
Thank you.
Especially when you're around all the drivers and when I see you talking to the fans. Why are you so nice?
Well, I was just brought up in a great family, great home, and I have to give a lot of credit to my mom, and she always, kind of leaned on me to treat people how I wanted to be treated, and that's just the way I've been, and what's always happened to me. And I think another thing that's been very helpful for me throughout my career is that I didn't have success in my career until much later in life. So I had a lot of years until I didn't race in Cup until I was 26. I'm not sure Kyle Busch is even 26 yet. So I had a lot of years of really finding out who I was, why I was in the sport, and why I raced, and what it was about to me, and built a lot of friendships. And I think friendships helped me find my way through Chevrolet, find my way from the West Coast racing off-road trucks to the Midwest, then to Charlotte to race NASCAR. Helped put my crew together. That aspect, as you know, when you have friends and you have friends inside of this industry, things happen then. And that's how I really climbed the ladder throughout NASCAR and got my chance at Hendrick.
What do you have to tell the fans about you being too corporate, too vanilla?
It's not a bad thing to be accused of, doing a good job for your sponsors and trying to be a good person. I don't see what's wrong with that, but there's parts of certain fan bases that don't like that, and then for the negative that's there is such a positive that I have from parents that say, hey, I'm glad you're a good role model for my kid. I'm glad you carry yourself in the right way, that I'm not embarrassed to have my kid watch you or root for you. I know people want to, if they don't like someone, they're going to find a way to not like them and to talk about it, and that's cool. People don't have to be a fan of me, but be a fan of me for a different reason. Don't make stuff up around it. And being too corporate or too nice or what some of that stuff is, that's all a compliment, and I'd take it as a compliment.
The fans get so aggravated with you winning that they don't want to give you credit. They want to say the reason you win is because of Chad Knaus. What do you think of that?
That's fine. Chad Knaus is a huge part of my success, without a doubt. Hendrick Motorsports is too, which people will probably work up an argument and say that I'm driving for the best team. Chevrolet, best manufacturer. Absolutely. If one component of the 3 or 4 that are there didn't exist, we wouldn't be where we are today. There's no doubt. I would not be here if it wasn't for Chad Knaus, and Chad wouldn't be here today where he is as a crew chief if it wasn't for me. And then both of us for Hendrick and for Lowe's and for Chevy. So you just can't make some people happy is what it boils down to.
Do you see a day in NASCAR where you and Chad are not together, even with all this success?
I do in a way, and the reason being is that crew chiefs live in dog years, and those guys work long time, and you see guys like Robbie Reiser that was a crew chief then moves inside of Roush Fenway to a more managing position and not on the road. I could see that someday for Chad. I look at my career, and here I'm 36. I know there's another 10 years of driving or more if I want it. I don't know if Chad Knaus, as a crew chief, has 10 more years. He and I haven't talked about that in any detail, but I can see where Chad someday would go inside of Hendrick in a managing position, and then I would have a new crew chief then. But outside of that, that's the only way.
Well, that was a very interesting look at our 5-time consecutive champion. But, Kenny, let's go a little bit further back in history and remember how this whole thing came about. He was driving fairly in mediocrity in what was then the Busch Series, and he went to Jeff Gordon. He said, Jeff Gordon, how do I succeed? I want to be like you. And Jeff Gordon handpicked him to take over that team that himself and Rick Hendrick owned.
There's a lot